Hey, this is Tracy with Tracy Talks. Welcome. I can't help but feel this heaviness with everything that's going on in the world. It's hard for me to make sense of tragedies that happen, to make sense of something bad happening to somebody good or something happening to innocent people. And we see this enormous tragedy out there. And it's just hard to process those emotions at times. I can't help but draw a conclusion here. A few months ago, someone in my area passed away unexpectedly. He was a force. He was light. Whenever he came into the room, he would light up the room. He would help someone in need. He would encourage someone. He was always somebody that was willing to support other people. He was willing to be a voice. He was willing to champion for other people. And when he passed unexpectedly, there was this collective void and this idea of, what are we going to do? What are we going to do without him? Because he was this presence and this light. And when I reflect on that moment, I can't help but feel like there is a bigger message here for us. So many of us have these people in our life that lead, that champion, that pave the way for others. And there's a part of us that rely on that. It feels good to have somebody who's willing to go out there into the unknown, into this place that there's no path, there's no guide, there's no formula or plan. And we get used to having those people in our lives. And when they're gone, we have two choices. We can either shut down and be sad and get lost and not willing to pick ourselves up. Or we can recognize that we had somebody who was an example. We saw how it's done, and now it's each of our responsibility to be a light in the world. We saw somebody do it. We had the privilege of seeing somebody who knew how to light up the room. And I think when those people leave our lives, it's this moment where we now have to start carrying our own light. We have to be the one. And I know there's a lot of us that don't really want that responsibility. We're at a time where the world is asking each of us to show up as we are, as who we are, as our unique self, and light the path. And we need people who are willing to stand up and light that path for others who are not on their journey as far, others who don't have the tools, who don't have the resources. And how can we, little by little, take steps to light the world? When I look at my own journey and I look at these cycles in my life and these periods in my life, there were relationships that I was actively involved in. And I believe that everything is happening in its own timeline, and every cycle is important, and every message is important. There also came a time where I was in a relationship with somebody. And so much of my energy was being used to be seen, be heard, be understood, be validated. And I was with somebody who was never going to see me in my fullest potential. I was with somebody who couldn't support me. Like this version of me now, that person would not understand this. That person wouldn't understand me putting messages out there. And I would probably spend most of my day trying to explain it to them, trying to validate why I'm doing this, trying to get them to understand who I am and what I need and what I want. And when I look around at people, I see so many people who are in relationships and they're waking up every single day and they're trying to get this person to see them. They're trying to get this person to understand them. They're trying to get this person to love them. And I just, it actually just makes me crazy. We have such a finite amount of time here. We have such a finite amount of energy. And when we are in relationships with people who are never going to see us in the way that we were meant to be seen, who don't understand us, who don't love us right as we are, and I don't understand that, because the world needs us to show up and be a light, be our authentic self. And when we're in these relationships where we're just trying to figure out how to love each other, and all of our day is spent arguing, and all of our day is spent trying to negotiate, and all of our day is trying to spend just being in this frustration. And all I want to say is, why? Why are you using all of your valuable energy trying to be seen with this one person when the world needs you actually just to show up and put that energy out into something else, into your passion, into your purpose, into your life, into your world? Part of my own journey has been leading me towards forgiveness. And what does that mean? And I've really struggled with that. And how does that fit into my life? And how does that fit into me? There have been people that it's been a harder journey for me to reach that moment of forgiveness, because first I had to define it for myself. What does that mean? Does that mean just everything's okay, that everything that happened between us was okay, and now I'm accepting it and I love it and I love you? And I couldn't get to that place. Forgiveness for me, it has been reaching this point where I am accepting things as they are. They happened for a reason. I may not fully understand the reason, but I'm no longer trying to change what has happened. I'm no longer wishing the outcome was different. I have no desire to interact with certain people, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to reach a point where we are friends or acquaintances, and I'm okay with that. But it has been a difficult journey for me to get to this point where I can say, that happened, and I understand that that was the path that I needed to take. I'm no longer trying to change it. I'm no longer trying to hide it. I'm no longer trying to deny my path. And some people may not consider that forgiveness, but that certainly feels like a peaceful outcome within me. And I think that's all that any of us can strive for, is how do we reach a level of peace inside of ourselves? And whatever that is for you, that would be how you define forgiveness. Having that complete, full peace around a situation, a circumstance. These last few days have just felt heavy in so many ways. and things don't always make sense. We don't always understand why. But all I can focus on right now and cling to right now is, how can each of us be this light? How can we be our unique, authentic selves? And just being that authentic person is a light. It does give everyone around us the courage to do it as well. I am trying to really just focus on that inside of me, that there are more good things happening, and we don't hear them, we don't see them, we don't always know what's happening, but it's out there. And there's times where I think it also requires each of us to do the good thing, to be the good person, to be the person who helps somebody. I was shopping recently, and this woman in line, she couldn't get her card to work. And sometimes, you know how those cards are, they're meant to be tap, but the tap doesn't work, the insert doesn't work, the swipe doesn't work, and she was getting flustered and upset. And it's the holidays, and the line behind her was growing. And the woman behind her, and she said, "I'll take care of it." No questions asked. No, what is happening? Why do you need this? Nothing. It's always a beautiful moment when we witness moments like that happening in life. This woman who couldn't get her card to work, she wasn't asking for anything. She wasn't demanding anything, but somebody was just like, "I'll take care of it. It's fine." How can each of us be that light in the world? How can we do those small little things, light up the room, give somebody encouragement, tell somebody you love them? We have the power in each of us every single day.